So it's Tuesday, November the 12th, I believe, and it is a very cold night on the East Coast. And we just had a local election. Not very many people voted. I'm absolutely sure of that. You know what I mean? But we did have an election, and I voted. I absolutely voted. And I just realized that my one of the legs of my chair is inside this hole. So if I lean this way, I will fucking fall. And y'all will be laughing. But I ain't gonna do that. See, let me move this motherfucker. Okay. So yeah, um, Tuesday had an election. I had to come and do this particular segment, Citizens United, Hope for America. Um, this is probably like the 65th little episode in my little ghetto podcast studio that people just come and just put shit. They got paint and shit all up back over the flag. They didn't ask me, because they do that. But see, when you ain't got shit, you dig, you know. So this is humble beginnings. I mean, it's very humbling to indulge and partake, you know, this in this manner. You know what I mean? I wish I had money. I wish I had a set. I wish I had all that beautiful shit. But the one thing that I do have is very real information for you. So let me get right to it. So, you know, we're in a very historical moment. Um, the last 12 years have been very historical, whether you are conscious of that or not. Um, what George Bush and Dick Cheney did with the Iran-Iraq war, um, they siphoned or diverted about 20 trillion with a TRILL, $20 trillion they diverted from our economy to Iraq in the form of the Iraq War, which we didn't ask for. So over the last 15 years or however long that's been, we have literally been, you know, they got us for about $20 trillion on that one. Historic. The most money ever spent on a war. The longest running war ever in the history of our existence. Um, the second bit of history, so you had the Iraq War, and then, you know, oh, Obama. Obama. History. History. I mean, how many of us thought that we would ever see a black man as the president of the United States, you know? So let me tell you a little bit about where I'm at right now. See, I'm supposed to be looking over there. If I look over there, I'm gonna be looking you right in the eyes, right? Like I'm finna do it right now. I'm finna take my eyes and I'm finna look over there. See, look, I'm looking right at you. But when I do that, I can't see me. You understand? And I would rather look at me than look at you. You dig? So, yeah, I don't like these things. But what are you gonna do, man? You gotta do the best with what you got until you can do better. You know what I mean? I'm 55. It might not look like it, you know. Might not look like it. You know what I mean? Look at that. You know, no crow's feet. You know, no crow's feet. You know what I mean? Um, Now, as far as like bags under, dark right here, I was born with that. That's hereditary. My mother, I got it from my mother, these little things here. But some of that is being tired because I'm the hardest working man in show business right now. You know what I mean? I stay in my lane, real quiet, low key. But, bruh, I'm kind of like a duck. You dig? One of them pretty ducks that just be on top of the water, all handsome and shit. And you just see me, I just be smooth, just moving like this on the water. If you ever watch a duck, they just be moving like this. You know what I'm saying? You be like, damn, look at that duck. Motherfucker be moving like this. But what you don't see is up under the water, behind the scenes. If you look up under the water, that pretty ass duck that's moving like this. If you look up under the water, that motherfucker legs be going. That motherfucker legs be going, boy. You know what I'm saying? But you can't tell though. Because on top of the water, that motherfucker be moving like. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I'm the hardest working brother, out here. You know what I'm saying? And I don't mind. Because I found that staying busy, keeps me healthy, keeps me, cool. I found that when I had like a lot of time and was just laying around, sitting around, kicking it, going from this spot to the next spot, trying to, this and that, I wasn't happy. I was always, too much time, I'm always thinking about stupid shit, you know what I mean? So, hardest working man in show business. But anyway, I'm happy to be able to do this particular episode for the biggest reason is Elijah Cummings. R.I.P., R.I.H. That's a devastating loss. Devastating. Just looking at him, you could tell that something was going on. You know what I mean? But, who would have fucking thought? Now, personally, I'm just going to say this because I don't trust. I don't trust the intelligence community. And the intelligence community is directly affiliated with the CIA, which is directly affiliated with the whole 1970s, 1980s heroin, crack infestation. All of that stuff has some really thin strings, the whole assassinations in the 60s, all of this stuff to me is kind of tied together. You know what I mean? And kind of forgot what the fuck I was saying, because I'm 420 friendly. Let's get that shit on the table, pin that on the wall. I'm 420 friendly that a motherfucker, man. You know what I mean? So, so history in the making. Elijah Cummings. That's what I was talking about, man. That's a devastating loss to the black community. That's a devastating loss. Elijah Cummings was in this particular situation that we're in, with the whole Russia, Trump, what actually went down. There is nobody in the United States that stood up for this country, stood up for our Constitution, stood up for our flag, stood up for our people. Elijah Cummings was the tip of the spear, a defender of this nation during one of the most critical moments. He stood up, which was an act of bravery. This man's house was broken into about 2 months ago. And like I said, I don't trust the intelligence community. So I'm just saying this If the right people see this, they're gonna say, they're gonna label me as a crazy conspiracy theorist. No, this is my opinion. You know, America asks for my opinion on a weekly basis when they put out new movies, you know, every week, and ask us to go see them and give our opinion and all that stuff. And, you know, America asks our opinion when they have, you know, these dancing competitions and who's got talent and all that shit. This is my opinion on the performance that I've seen. The material is reality. I saw it. We all witnessed it. This is my opinion. My opinion. Because I think outside the box. My opinion is when they broke in that man's house, they contaminated certain items in his house, which accelerated his sickness and killed him. Got it out there. I said it. It's what I truly believe. They broke in his house and they didn't take anything. They just breached his security system. They were in there 10 seconds, 15, 20, 30, a minute and a half, we don't know. Only Mr. Cummings, his alarm company, and his security team know those details. But nothing was taken, nothing was vandalized. And we all thought, oh, thank God, he's okay, you know. But what if they didn't break in to do that? What if they broke in to contaminate his milk, contaminate his toothpaste, contaminate his hair, his shampoo, contaminate his tea, his coffee, contaminate his medicine? What if that was the purpose? And those things that I just spoke of, these are all foreign tactics that have been used recently within today and the last 10 years. It's been used frequently and often around the globe, poisoning one's adversaries. In the most extreme cases, they poison people with radioactive material, which caused them to, you know, their body organs to literally shut down within hours. That their radioactive levels were so high, the contamination was so, you know, they put some type of radioactive contaminant in some guy's tea, and he drank it, you know. This even got my underbite. I made him get this underbite. You know, my jaw was broken in twice, and you know, so it's broken over this way, like it slants, and it's been that way since I was 15, and it caused my underbite to shift and everything. So when I got all this stuff redid, you know, they wanted to correct it, and it had me looking crazy. I was like, no, just give me that underbite, that little crooked, you know, that's me. But anyway, Elijah Cummings, I will say this. In 2014, I reached out to Elijah Cummings. You can go back to like a year ago, my videos, and you will often hear me talk about making contacts and connections with Elijah Cummings. I had the honor of reaching out to him. You know, like hundreds of thousands of people, I'm sure, probably send him letters and all that kind of stuff, correspondence and shit, you know. And so in most cases, you know, those letters, you know, a staff member, you know, an intern, you know, opens that mail, and that mail is shredded, and, you know, he never sees it, or she never sees it. I was fortunate enough, praise God, that the very first piece of information I sent him was in the form of priority mail, and it was about three letters, and it was extreme. I'm talking about probably the most extreme material, progressively extreme. I'm like, and from a progressive standpoint, personally, I swear to God, I think I'm probably the most extreme progressive in the world. Okay. So I sent him, I swear, I ain't no shame in it. I sent him the most extreme shit. And I meant every word of it. And we ain't talking about nothing ignorant or nefarious or violent, like these crazy motherfuckers. But we talking about the truth, you know. And in most cases in this world, this realm that we in, the actual truth, when it hits your ears, is it gonna blow your fucking mind. It's extreme. So I know the truth. So the information I sent him was really over, like, out there. You know what I'm saying? It got to him. It reached him. It actually reached him. And he sent me a letter. He sent me a letter introducing himself. And he made, I swear, I hope I can find the letter. I think I can. I think I got it. I think it's upstairs. I think I got it in my shit. But he made the point of saying, introducing himself, hey, I'm Elijah Cummings, congressman, whatever his official title was. And the next thing he said was, I am in possession of your shit. He said, I got it. And that meant a lot to me, man. I mean, and that was in like the first two sentences. He was like, hey, I'm Elijah Cummings, and I got this in my hands right now. And he asked, and then, he went through the thing, and he told me to do something that really fucked my head up, man. You know what I mean? Just blew my fucking mind. He directed me. I'm in Florida when I sent it to him. He directed me to go see the political the representative that was representing that area where I was in. Now that's something that they have to do by law because they can't supersede anybody's precinct or constituents, right? I didn't really know that. So he directs me to the political representative that I'm obligated to run this through. I'm in Florida. It was a fucking Republican because of the geographical map that they drew up with this gerrymandering shit in 2010, where I was at with all that fire and passion, reaching out to him. The legal protocol that he had to send me through sent me straight to a fucking Republican. Yeah. So anyway, but I love Elijah Cummings. I personally, it's for selfish reasons that I'm a missing. Because I really, if you just go back, just start going back to some of them videos, you will hear me. Saying like, I describe why I do the videos. I'll be like, yeah, I do these videos because then I get to put these clips together and I get to email them, tweet them to people like, and I would name Elijah Cummings because he literally was the guy that I was literally going to, with the whole Citizens United Hope for America, Project X, the Citizens United Hope for America Neighborhood Watch, the youth, everything, like I was headed, So that's like one of the biggest reasons I'm missing him because I was actually looking forward to working with him. That letter, that little interaction we had, it meant a lot to me, but it was something he does he doesn't respond back to everybody, but he did to me. And he signed it. It wasn't no rubber stamp. When you first read the first 2 pages, he made it clear, this is me. And this is what I want you to do. But I don't know if he knew that what he needed me to do was was directing me, because of the way the map was created, sent me right to a Republican, man. And that whole fire, that I couldn't show that shit to them, man. You know what I'm saying? It was against them, you know? So anyway, but history, man. So I just wanted to touch bases tonight. I couldn't let this night go past without weighing in on it. Tomorrow, Wednesday, the 13th of November, begins the first day of the impeachment hearings for the President of the United States. So if you don't know what impeachment means, impeachment is like the term that they use to describe a process that they created, that the forefathers, the creators of the Constitution, created this process in which if there was ever a president that was determined to be unfit for whatever reasons, but in this particular case, if we discovered that a president was caught in possibly committing some high crimes and misdemeanors, is the actual terminology that they use, which is a broad expansion of that covers, like, this nigga's corrupt. So they put in our Constitution this thing called impeachment, which is like a court process that involves one of the Supreme Court justices, and which will reside over it from a judge standpoint, and then the head of the Senate committee, one of the heads of the senators, is the one that coordinates it, and then the head of the other, so there's people that are selected to run the process, and then they present the evidence that brought everybody to this particular junction, which is the behavior that alarmed people enough to start this impeachment process. So tomorrow, Wednesday the 13th, the United States of America, on every channel, 300 million people will have to make a decision whether they're going to tune in or tune out. Being that this is involving President Trump, a very controversial figure who came in the door with the help of by violating our Constitution, by committing treason, by breaking law after law after law. This man is absolutely a criminal. As a businessman in New York, he was a piece of shit. The mafia, organized crime around the world, they basically just use him for his name. He's like a money laundering dream. They can launder money through him. Like if the Russians or the Chinese or the Iranians say they want to invest in the United States casinos, they just funnel it through Donald Trump. They just pull Donald Trump in and say, hey, motherfucker, we want to do some casinos. And he says, where do I sign? What do you want me to say? And then Trump goes out and announces that he's opening new casinos, but what nobody doesn't know is it's not his money. He's just the front man, so they'll give him a percentage. So if it's say it's a $1 billion deal, which he hasn't gotten anything that big lately, but if it's a $1 billion deal, they'll give him like 50 million, 100 million, motherfucker sign the papers, and then he gets to lie and play big dog, But he's pretty much a tool for organized crime. He's been that way since the 70s because he's such a fucking buster ass nigga that he wants to rub shoulders with these people, and they treat him like a pussy ass, like a piece of shit. You know what I mean? Like all the mob families, they have no respect for this dude. Never did. I mean, they don't respect people that can't manage money. They don't respect people that'll sell out their own family. They don't respect people that sell out their own people. You know what I mean? They'll use you. You know what I mean? But they don't respect this motherfucker, man. They don't respect him, man. They laughing all the way to the fucking bank, right? So, he's a piece of shit. You know, he got in. The Russians got him in. The Russians attacked our election cyber infrastructure. It is an actual fact that they hit all 50 states. It's an actual fact that they really targeted like 20 states in particular. And their activity is what led to a victory for the president. So he's an illegitimate president. You know, everything that he's done from day one is criminal. It's really, it should be thrown out because he did not win the election. They cheated. You know, it's an actual fact. So the impeachment now is this dumb motherfucker did it again. He actually did the exact same shit except with a different company, you know, because he couldn't use WikiLeaks like he did before. He couldn't use the Russians because it's too hot. Everybody's on their ass. So he tried to use Ukraine. And the dumb motherfucker thought that he can guerrilla pimp everybody that was involved in terms of in the meetings, in the telephone conferences, the people that were privy to what he was actually doing. He thought he could guerrilla pimp them, and it come to find out these people were real patriotic Americans that really believe in the Constitution, and they refuse to be guerrilla pimped, and they're willing to tell the truth. So